I wanted to share a super fun poached egg dish. It's healthy, yummy, and more importantly, for those of us who need to fit into a leotard the next day, it's low fat. I simply love this dish because of the different levels of flavors. To start, you'll need to poach some shrimp, and I'll talk about how to in this video, but there are plenty of YouTube videos available on how to perfectly poach shrimp that you can look up. For this dish, I have a 1/4 pound of shrimp with shell on. Boil salted water, add the shrimp, and let it boil for 3 to 3.5 minutes. Strain the shrimp and add it to an ice bath and set it aside for now. We'll need about 4 to 5 shrimps per plating. De-shell and de-vein 5 shrimps for each plating. Next, you'll need some guacamole. You can buy your favorite or make your own. I have posted a recipe on my channel. Click the show more link below to get a link to my spicy guacamole recipe. You'll need 2 tomatoes and some sliced basil for a tomato and basil sauce. A loaf of your favorite bread, and of course 4 eggs. This recipe is for 2 plate settings. Feel free to adjust the quantity for the ingredients accordingly. We'll start with the tomato and basil sauce. First, we blanch the tomatoes. Bring a pot of water to boil, add the tomatoes, and boil for 30 seconds. Remove the tomatoes from the hot water and add them to an ice bath. Let them cool for 5 minutes. Peel them and hand crush them into a bowl until the juices are released. Keep the fleshy parts of the tomatoes. Next, we'll make the sauce. This shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. Heat some olive oil in a saucepan. Add some basil leaves. Make sure they're dry before adding them to the oil. Add the blanched tomatoes. Salt to taste and mix. Add some more basil leaves. Stir, and once it comes to this consistency, we're ready to strain. Strain well until all the juices are drained from the fleshy parts. I'm keeping the fleshy part of the tomatoes for a garnish. You're looking for a thin, liquidy consistency like this. Mix in 2 tablespoons of water and set aside. Next, prepare the shrimp. Take about 5 pieces of shrimp and slice them from the center. They should look like this. Marinate them in a little bit of tomato sauce and set them aside. You'll need 4 halves for the eggs. The rest, keep aside for a tomato relish. Next, we'll poach the eggs. You'll need 2 tablespoons of vinegar. The proportions I used were 2 tablespoons for every 2 eggs. If you've never poached eggs before, I would recommend looking up how-to videos on YouTube before trying out this recipe. I've included a video I liked in the show more link below. Prepare an ice bath. In a medium-sized pot, boil 3 to 4 inches of water. Once it comes to a boil, lower it to simmer and add the vinegar. Create a vortex with a spoon. Add 1 egg gently in the center and let it cook for 3 minutes for a soft poached eggs. Gently remove the egg after 3 minutes from the pot and place it into the ice bath. If you're using this method of poaching the eggs, you'll need to repeat this process for each egg. Once the eggs are poached, set them aside in the ice bath until we're ready to set the plates. I've taken an inch of slice from my bread loaf and toasted it to a medium setting. Cut the slice in half and layer over some guacamole. You can use as much or as little as you like. Take 4 halves of the shrimp and create a pocket for the egg on top of the guacamole. Place 1 egg on top of each pocket, and we're almost done. For the final touch, garnish the eggs with some tomato basil sauce, some basil leaves, and a simple tomato and shrimp relish I made by mixing the marinated shrimp with the fleshy parts of the tomato that we had set aside earlier. And now we're done. Something fun and fancy while we're stuck at home. Do let me know how it turns out. Cheers.